Welcome back. We are here. It is 1555. We're already halfway through the decade, if you can believe it. In the last one, we unfortunately did lose Genevieve, giving birth to Juliana. So we did lose our mom. Katarina is starting to play fast and loose. Nicholas aged up into a teenager, and Lawrence has gotten engaged to a princess. So in this one, we have Juliana's birthday along with Sear Stroud and Diggory Crookshank, and then Lawrence will be aging up into a young adult, and then Christopher Heredia is becoming an adult part 2, and then Felice. Felice has been alive for so long. Good for you, Felice. Okay. Let's start with our Juliana. No 7, 14, or 19. Come on, your mom died for you. Don't do this to me. Woo, that was a close one. And then Sear and Diggory can't get a 7 or a 13. No 7 or 13. No 7 or 13. No Diggory. Okay. Okay, and then for Sear, is he going to get married? He is. How many kids is he going to have? 2. Okay. Why are you all bolded? Sear Stroud is going to have 2 kids. Are you all bolded? You are. Why, though? Okay. So here are all of our children. Let's just, actually, I'm just going to scoot them up because they're in order of age. So, like, actually, they're in order of age. Oh, Lawrence isn't on here. Yeah, Molly is next. Okay. Lawrence is not getting married, despite the fact that he is currently engaged to a princess. I'm going to ruin his life. Don't worry. 3 or 18. He survived. Christopher has to get at least an 8. He did not. Oh no. And his wife just died too. Hold on. Do you have kids in your household? Christopher. Your wife just died too. Oh no. Charles. Someone needs to take in Charles. I guess he can move in with Gareth. Or maybe they're already living together. Who knows? And then Felice, roll a d20 for the amount of time she has left. 18 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You know, some people live forever. Okay. So there's that. As for no one's currently married and having babies. Next year we'll get some people married. This year it is 1555. Looks like we have a few toddlers from the Brigg family, and that is about it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, let's hop into the game. All right, so I just want to tell you that Ghost Genevieve has already proposed to Gabriel. But anyway, we do have Lovestruck in our game now. If you watched the Ancient Greece series on my channel, I was confused as to what exactly happened. I think the EA app was just being weird because it didn't automatically download the pack after I bought it, which I feel like usually is what happens. I had to like go in and click download, which I thought was dumb, but whatever. Anyway, so Ghost Genevieve is just hanging out. She is having a great time. She is still spending time with her family, which I love, and also, like, I can't even take it, my heart. So I'm going to let them woohoo, and then we have Nicholas working on his homework and chatting with his sister. For some reason, Elizabeth is bald. A few of my Sims, including my butler, have gone bald, and I don't know exactly what happened there. But we are going to take advantage of the new pack, and what I'm going to do first is have a hangout date thing, create a hangout with our BFF, Elizabeth. So Katarina and Elizabeth are BFFs. They are very close. They are, you know, they're good friends. And so Katarina is now dating Gareth, which I'm sure is totally, the drama that they're talking about. I'm just going to call over Olivia because she's like one of my only other Sims with red hair, and I don't want to accidentally give Elizabeth the wrong hair color if I copy and paste the hair. So she's going to have the same hair as her mom now, which is whatever. But anyway, so we have Elizabeth and Katarina just getting a, brunch meal together, having a good time, kind of spending some time together as friends. And they are going to, of course, chat about boys and all of that stuff. And so I am trying out the new system. So it is really interesting the number of different options you get now for tasks in the events. So that's pretty cool. But basically, Katarina is going to tell Elizabeth that she woohooed with Gareth, and Elizabeth is like, "Oh my gosh, did you get pregnant?" And she's like, "No, I couldn't have gotten pregnant." She doesn't have any clue, but she doesn't think she did because she doesn't want to. And then they're just going to be chatting, and they're chatting about that, and then Elizabeth kind of drops this bomb where she says, "Oh, hey, by the way, I just wanted you to know that, like, I'm courting with Amos Light." And Katarina is like, "Amos Light? You mean the future king?" And Elizabeth is like, "Yeah." And Katarina just cannot believe it. And that is just like one of the things is Katarina is not the greatest person, but she is, she's been a pretty good friend, but she just like does not believe that like a future king would be courting someone who doesn't have a title. No one in her family has a title. There's nothing there. And so she's like, "Wait, I don't get it. Like, why is he courting you?" And it's like she's not really trying to put down Elizabeth. It just doesn't register in her mind because she is such a social climbing kind of person. And so she doesn't really, like, it doesn't register to her that that can happen. And Elizabeth was just like, kind of like, "Well, you're dating Gareth and he's just a lord and your father's an earl." And Katarina's like, "You're right, but I was never going to marry him." Like, she was never intending on marrying him. And Elizabeth just mentions like, "Well, you woohooed with him, you're not going to marry him." And Katarina is like going to go out with Gareth and kind of start an argument, and they're going to get an unpredictable dynamic. So she kind of just starts an argument because she dated him to spite her father, is what she did. She dated him to spite her father. And she dated him because she thought he was cute. She had a little crush on him, and that was all well and good. And she was never really thinking about marrying him. And then she realizes that she's out here, like, dating a guy that is, quote unquote, beneath her. Meanwhile, Elizabeth is dating a future king, and of course, Katarina is not happy about that. So she just kind of starts arguing with Gareth and everything, and they're not having a really good time. And then she starts getting sick, and we know that it's food poisoning because we got a notification that she had food poisoning. But she's like, "Wait a second. Could I be pregnant?" Like, she's all of a sudden really worried about it because she didn't think that she was, and we know she's not, but she keeps like throwing up, and she's like, "Oh no, like maybe I did get pregnant. I'm gonna have to marry that guy," and she doesn't want to, and she's like freaking out. She is totally freaking out. So, yeah, she's losing it. So anyway, we're gonna have her come and talk to her father. Now, she obviously, um, are you gonna go talk to your father, or is that not happening right this second? I was going to have her come talk to her father, um, but yeah. So basically, Katarina is like, yeah, she's gonna come talk to her dad, and she's going to apologize, and she's going to say like, "I know that you were right, and I didn't want to admit that you were right, and that I wasn't going to marry him, and I was just doing it because I was missing mom, and I was feeling mean." And she's saying all this stuff, and then she tells him, "But like, I'm worried that I might be pregnant." And Gabriel is like, "Oh no." He's like, "You did what?" "You did what with who?" And Gabriel is like horrified, right? He's like, "Oh my gosh, my daughter might have gotten pregnant out of wedlock with this guy," and blah, blah, blah. And he's furious at Gareth, of course, not at Katarina, but like, he is furious now because his daughter could be potentially in a bad situation. We know that Gabriel loves his family unconditionally so much, fills his heart up. And the thing is that we have only gotten like a small glimpses of the lengths he's willing to go to for his family. And so the idea that his daughter could be, ruined is something that he is going to fight back against very hard. And so he doesn't really know exactly what to do about the whole pregnancy thing and how to tell if she's pregnant. And so he calls over Tobias. And basically, I know that Tobias wouldn't know the first thing about pregnancy, but I just feel like he's just like a knowledgeable guy and maybe is able to kind of calm things down a little bit. Both Gabriel and Katarina are kind of running hot right now. And so Tobias is just like, okay, well, when did you do it? Like, how long ago was that? When did you start feeling sick? And the timeline just really isn't adding up. And they kind of are pretty confident that she's not pregnant. And Gabriel is so relieved. And so is Katarina. And Tobias is like, you guys share one brain cell and I have it. So anyway, there's that. And so Gabriel basically, demands that Gareth come over, and Gareth has no idea what's going on. Like, he just had a bad date with Katarina. He doesn't know if he's going to get scolded or if he's going to be able to propose or what the deal is. Like, Gareth actually likes Katarina. Like, he wouldn't have agreed to date her if he didn't think that maybe they get married. And he wouldn't have agreed to woohoo with her if he didn't think they were going to get married. But Gabriel's coming in hot. He's like, defiled my daughter. How dare you? Blah, blah, blah. I never want to see your face again. And if you ever show your face to my daughter again, we're going to duel and I'm going to kill you. So that's basically how it goes. Katarina and Gareth do break up. She didn't want to marry him anyway. She was just dating him for a while. And so they ended up breaking up, and he is like, whoa. Like, Gareth is like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this all just happened to me. Like, he's trying to tell Gabriel, like, I was going to marry her. I was going to marry her. And Gabriel's like, I don't care. Get out. Like, Gabriel is not happy. So anyway, that is what happened with Gareth. Meanwhile, Gabriel is also trying to get on Queen Mary's good side. And now we know that Mary is not into the unity of occults and everything. And so Gabriel is trying, like he did previously, to get close to her because that has always worked for him. And she's just not having it because she knows what kind of guy he is. She knows about, everything that went on between him and her father. She knows about how he has always liked occults and worked with them. Like, he was married to, the daughter of a vampire who used to be a vampire, and just like, she's like not into it. She's kind of smarter than Henry VIII. She's like, no, I know which side you're on. You're not going to butter me up, and I'm not going to agree with you, and I will do whatever I want because I'm the queen, and I can do what I want, and I can persecute who I want, and I can kill who I want. And Gabriel's like, wow, that went over well. But yeah, they really get into it. We won't say he fist fighted with the queen, but but they really got into it. And Gabriel's realizing that they are not in a good position because the queen is very against the whole occult thing, and also she is very stubborn and headstrong and will not be convinced by them. So there's that. Meanwhile, we also have Florence being like BFFs with Sibley. I just think that that's a really sweet dynamic and relationship. And I do like that Florence and Sibley are friends and are hanging out. And even though she keeps walking away, but like, I just like their friendship. And I think, Sibley was new in town, and Florence, we know, is a bit erratic. So I think it's good that, Sibley was looking for a friend and Florence didn't have too many, and they just kind of connected, and I really think that that's sweet. So I'm glad that they did. And so these two are going to be friends with each other and basically be BFFs. So I think that that's really nice and really sweet, and I like it. So there's that. And then meanwhile, in a second. But these two are being friends. And then meanwhile, we're going to have Nicholas kind of go out with the guys. He's going to go out with Isaac, who is his BFF. So him and Isaac are best friends, and they are going to go out and, have a drink at the tavern and just have like a good time and do guy things. So they are going out and doing all this. Now, of course, I feel like I'm being very like stereotypical when it comes to the different genders, but like, that's just the way that it is during this time period. You wouldn't see a woman out drinking at the pub, like you wouldn't see that for like a noble lady, but the guys can do whatever they want, right? Like, that's just how it went. So, as we get more modern, we'll be able to have our more modern sensibilities. But anyway, so we do have, the boys are talking about, romance, like, are there any girls you're interested in, blah, blah, blah. They're having drinks, they're having a good time, and things start to kind of take a different turn. Now, Nicholas and Isaac have been really good friends for so long, and it just kind of feels easy and smooth, and suddenly they're flirting and they are just, having a good time, and they're having a lot of drinks, and everybody sees them kiss. And so there is definitely a scandal involved now, but, of course, they haven't really heard about it yet. They're just having a good time. They're having fun. They're going downstairs and having even more fun. Um, but yeah. So Nicholas is definitely at least bisexual. Um, all of my Sims are default bisexual, if you didn't know that about me. That's just the default that I go with. Unless I purposefully say that a Sim is straight or gay, they are bisexual. So anyway, they did just talk about being romantic partners, and I think that, like, honestly, I think Nicholas is just feeling good. Like, he instantly got a crush on Isaac, and I think that Nicholas is really enamored by him and is like, yes, like, let's do this. Let's, you know, be together, like, and obviously not really thinking about the consequences of being seen and being doing that. And Nicholas is just like, he's happy. He's like, he had a good time. He went out, he had fun, he got a little woohoo in, and he's having a good time. So Nicholas is definitely enamored with Isaac right now. But I will say that I don't think Isaac is as into it as Nicholas is. I think Isaac is just having fun. So anyway, we do then have, everyone always wants to go to the infant. They do not care what else they're doing. But I do then have Gabriel having a conversation with Lawrence. I guess everybody else is going to participate too, where Lawrence is basically talking about how he's engaged to Anne now and how he doesn't really have the estate or anything to, sway a princess. And despite the fact that he is of a higher status than Gabriel, he's younger, he's less established, he's been trying to handle his family land, but at the same time, Gabriel is outrageously rich for an earl. Like, think Bridgerton, and you're like, why are the Bridgertons so rich? It's like that. We're so rich. We're so rich. So, basically, Lawrence is asking Gabriel for help. Like, what do I do? Like, I don't think that I'm going to be able to, afford her the life that she wants. What if our engagement breaks off? Blah, blah, blah. He's all worried about it. And we know that Lawrence is a manipulator, right? We know that he's just saying this because he knows that Gabriel cares about him as family, and we know that Gabriel is probably going to give him money. Also, we have too much money, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this, because I don't like having too much money. But we're getting like 20,000 simoleons a day, so we might as well give some of it away. So it is Lawrence's birthday, and he is going to blow out the candles, have everybody over, and all of that. And so Gabriel is going to give him a very generous present, a very, very generous present of an estate with lots of money in it. So we are going to come out here, we're going to purchase it, and then we are going to just keep adding land to it until we're down to 7,000 simoleons. So it's like 900,000 simoleons that Gabriel is going to give Lawrence as birthday present and for his future and for his marriage. And Lawrence, of course, rules to be a kleptomaniac because that makes sense. And so he is going to get all that money from Gabriel and basically be like, thank you so much. And, say, okay, I feel like I can start my life. And he's going to move out so that he can get his family home ready now that he is going to get married to Anne. So that's what's happening there. And then, as soon as we can give that to him, there we go. Oh, dog's barking, dog barking. Dog on the couch. She's not supposed to be on the couch. Anyway, so what's happening now? Katarina is going, her friend Elizabeth has come over, and Elizabeth is going to talk to Katarina, and basically, so if you remember, last time, Genevieve was actually having some problems with some of her friends. She was having some issues. And so she was having some issues with her friends, and she didn't know what was going on. And so Elizabeth is going to come over and basically tell Katarina, like, hey, my mom told me about it, and I know that our parents don't really get along, but I wanted to tell you that, like, apparently Lilith was spreading rumors about your mom. So that is what she's bringing up to Katarina. She's saying that, like, the reason that Genevieve was being snubbed was because Lilith was spreading rumors about her and, not really being a very good friend at all. And so Katarina is just shocked because her mom and Lilith were really, really good friends. Like, they were just so good friends, and it was surprising to everyone how quickly they get along. And they were just, like, really good friends, and Lilith turns out to be two-faced. We know that she's mean. We know that she's evil. And so basically, Katarina is going to decide to confront Lilith. She's going to confront her and, be like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? You and my mom are so close. Like, why would you say that kind of stuff? Look at her body. Anyway, so she's going to kind of confront Lilith about the whole situation and be like, why would you do that to my mother? Like, why would you do that when she loved you so much and all this stuff? And, Katarina's really feeling hurt, especially because, like, Genevieve died. Genevieve has died, and Lilith was spreading rumors about her, and it's just like really breaks her heart because she was like, that's her mom, first off, and then second off, she's like, how could you, And Lilith is totally brushing her off, and then eventually, like, it kind of blows up, and Lilith says, well, your mom was like a traitor anyway. She decided not to be a vampire. She decided to be a lowly human, and, like, how dare she turn her back on her lineage, and, like, I never liked her from the start. And Katarina is just so surprised. So surprised. She, like, cannot believe that Lilith had this in her heart the whole time, that she was friends with her mom. And I have got to get those nose rings off of you, girl. Anyway, so, but, like, yeah, she's just, like, so surprised, and she is sad and shocked and everything, and, like, she just cannot believe that that was the whole thing. And so they've just argued a bit, and, they're not getting along or anything, but it's just, like, wild. Meanwhile, we've had Juliana's birthday. Yes, we've had Juliana's birthday. Meanwhile, I got some of the timing incorrect on my video, so sorry that I was talking right through that. But yes, so Juliana's birthday, we just had it. She's a toddler now. Birthdays this year are Juliana Larkin becoming a toddler, Sierra Stroud becoming a teenager, Diggory Cruikshank dying, Lawrence Gainsford becoming a young adult, Christopher Heredia dying, Hughie Brigg, Amice Brigg, and Erasmus Brigg all becoming toddlers. So that is everything that happened this year. Very exciting. Lawrence has left the house. He is now off on his own. And also, the next thing is that we do have two birthdays next year in our main household, including Florence and Alice's. So both of them will be aging up next year. And, hopefully all goes well. So we will pick back up with that in the next one. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you then.